It is time now for US News with the Queen of American showbiz, royal and political reporting, Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, great to see you. Tell me about King Charles celebrating a pay rise.
Oh, Mark, don't say he's celebrating. No, I think that my biggest fear is that people are imagining the king as like Scrooge McDuck swimming in his money, giving himself a raise or giving himself a promotion. And that's not what's happening at all. The Guardian reports that the royal family's grant is expected to increase from 86 million to 125 million in 2025. I know optics, when we're all in a cost of living crisis, it doesn't look great, but it's a complicated strategy tying the monarch's funding to the percentage of profits of the crown estate. And this formula that we're talking about used to determine the sovereign grant was developed by David Cameron in 2011. Maybe it is time to revisit this formula and come up with a new solution. Maybe it's none of my business because I'm over here in Hollywood. But I do think that the sovereign, the monarchy, is highly aware of the optics, and because of that, the Treasury stressed that a reduction of the percentage of the Crown Estate's profits that the king would collect was going to go from 25% to 12%. And in 2024 and 2025, the government has committed to use what was cut from the sovereign grant to fund vital public service and anything that benefits the nation. So again, they're hyper aware of what this looks like. This is not the king giving himself a promotion or, giving himself a raise. And this is maybe just a strange formula that needs to be revisited based on the current climate.
I think you're right, Kinsey, to drill into the detail of that. Like King Charles, you are worth every penny. Can we talk about Donald Trump, who faces significant legal challenges, but he's had some good news in terms of voter support?
You're absolutely right, because I was trying to determine how to communicate this. I was like, he's significant legal challenges is a pretty great way to put it. But a new Harvard-Harris poll suggests that the former president would beat President Joe Biden right now in a general election.
Wow.
And let me tell you right now, this is a nightmare of a deja vu rematch for Americans. But it does see the Don dominating Biden by 45%, with 16% of voters undecided. And Trump's margin over Kamala is an even bigger gap, 47% versus 38%. And if the 2024 Republican presidential primary were held today, because I know you're wondering this, Trump would actually win 52% over Ron DeSantis, who I know you love. I'm a fan of his too. But Trump would beat Ron DeSantis, who's actually stumbling behind 40 points with just 12% of those votes. And again, the New York Post is where I saw this article about the Harvard-Harris poll. And they say 70% of the people that were polled really were not that impressed with either candidate and would love to see some fresh blood in the mix.
Indeed. Well, I do like Ron DeSantis. He led Florida brilliantly during COVID, but it seems to be Trump all the way. Can we talk about Kevin Costner? Everyone knows who he is, one of the biggest movie stars in the world, but he's got a few problems, and that's not in relation to a movie or a script or a director.
Yeah, I don't know how you introed Kevin Costner without including the word hunk. I'm a little disappointed because he's quite the hunk. But the Daily Mail is calling it Hollywood's pettiest divorce, and I am here for it. Kevin's wife, his soon-to-be ex-wife, is alleging that he's worth over $400 million, but court papers are saying that him and his wife are fighting over things like dog beds, kitchen utensils, a white and a blue umbrella that, is an outside umbrella. And Costner's attorney being so ugly about this, telling Christine's attorney, you might not want to bite the hand that feeds you. This is after Costner has accused his ex of using some of the money that he gives her for the children for plastic surgery, which she hasn't denied, and saying that she basically took credit cards from the domestic help, from maybe a nanny or a maid, and was using them at ATMs to funnel out a ton of money in preparation for filing this divorce. So it's getting really nasty, a lot of ugly accusations, and this could be one of Hollywood's nastiest breakups since Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I'm sorry, I have to go there.
Yes, it is. It's more dramatic than any of his movies. Do we know whether she has signed a prenuptial agreement with the star, with the hunk, or will she get half of everything? Do we know?
She absolutely signed a prenuptial agreement with him. And, he says that she clearly has read it within the last few months or years, because one of the deals was that she could take, if she owned a car, she could keep that car. The family, in the 20 years that they've been together, have always leased cars. Like a few weeks before she filed for divorce, she bought a car. So these are some of the instances the examples he's showing the court to say she was basically stealing from me in preparation to file for divorce. And, that between that and taking those cards of the employees and pulling out money, he's trying to show the court that he feels like she's coming from a really nasty, nefarious place. And if it was all in the efforts of supporting the children, she wouldn't have gone to these great lengths to kind of hoard money and to prepare herself for this. But yes, I believe the court recently said she was going to get a little over $100,000. She wanted $250,000 a month from Kevin. He wanted to give her $50,000 a month. It's getting nasty, Mark.
It's getting terribly nasty. You and I will never have a prenup because you and me is forever.
Oh, like Mark, it's like our 2-year anniversary coming up next month? You're going to be gone.
It's got to be. Listen, there are only two people that have a permanent slot on this show: Kinsey Schofield and Anne Widdecombe. Both. Well, I mean, I'm torn. It's like choosing between Lennon and McCartney. Kinsey, we'll see you in a week's time.